Thanks for clicking on this video. If you want more content just like this, head over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a club legend or a club captain. You'll get perks such as 20% off all our merch, 2 free pieces of merch every single year, and you'll also be in our Discord and Facebook group so you can talk to other Reds. What more could you really ask for? See you there.
Hello everyone, welcome to the player ratings show. Liverpool have lost 1-0 away at the City Ground to Nottingham Forest. Join me on the iPad, join me in the chat to talk to me about your scores. Beyond that, join redmenplus.com. Come and join in the final word show on Monday where we promise to support you guys through the show. We have a cathartic look at the way things are going at Liverpool Football Club at the moment because it's not easy times right now. We've just lost the bottom of the league, Nottingham Forest. We'll help you analyse that, understand that, make you feel better about yourself. So come on over to redmenplus.com and subscribe and join in with that. So on to the player ratings, but before we do that, we've got a man of the match vote. I think the 3 names we've selected today would be Alisson, Virgil van Dijk and... Sorry, was the third one, sorry mate? Elliott. And Harvey Elliott, sorry guys, slipped up there. So Harvey Elliott, Virgil van Dijk and Alisson are in the running for your man of the match, so if you get your votes in. So we'll start with, obviously, the goalkeeper, who I thought had a decent game. We really shouldn't be seeing him in the opposition's box with like 6 or 7 minutes to go trying to score West Brom-style headers. Some really crucial saves, some low down, and the one in particular off Yates that came up off the top of his arm and went up over the crossbar. So for me, I thought Alisson had a really good game, and both Chris and I during the commentary and some of the comments said, right now, Alisson deserves a bit better than what we're giving him. But for him today, it could have been a lot worse. So in terms of Alisson, I'm going to give Alisson a 7 out of 10 today. What do you guys think? Let's have a look. Get your Alisson votes in for me. We'll have a look at those. Ali did nothing wrong. Somebody's given him an 8. 7.5 man of the match from the Cine Singe. Ali 8, crucial saves, quick distribution, more of an attacking threat than Salah today. I thought Alisson had a really good game. Some of the saves were absolutely top drawer. I don't think Yates could quite believe that he got an arm to that one and sent it over the top. Ryan has gone for an 8. Amin AR goes for an 8. Copite 19 goes for an 8. And World Destroyer goes for an 8. So 7 for me, 8 for you guys. That's pretty cool. On to James Milner, who played right back again following a really strong performance against Manchester City, arguably a man of the match performance against Manchester City. I'm keen for you guys to tell me what you thought about James Milner. I thought first half James Milner was solid, very resolute performance at right back, didn't do anything risky, played the ball well, showed up on the right hand side as an overlap, was often free and unfound. I think James Milner had a steady game today. So let's see what you're going for with James Milner. 7.5 man of the match for me. I don't know whether that still relates to... Guys, can we have your votes in for Milner? I'm still seeing some Alisson ones. I'm going to give Milner a 6.5. So coming through on Milner now, we've got a 7 for Milner from Cass. We've got the Cine Singe has given us a 6. Ben Simpson's gone for a 7.5. Lewis Tolman's gone for a 6. Didn't do much wrong, didn't do much also. Yeah, I think Milner was, as I said, often unfound on the right-hand side. He gave ourselves an option. I think it's fair to say, though, guys, in the first half, all of our success came in the area that Nico Williams was playing in, and I thought James Milner was quite pivotal and quite key to that. And obviously when we took him off and brought Trent on, we did that for creativity purposes. Let's see what else you guys say on Milner. So Christopher Campbell's gone with a 7. Daily GF Hughes gone for a 7.5. Gareth Jones has gone for a 7. B2B Football, Milner was very good, seeing openings and done well at the back. Yeah, I think Milner had a steady game in what we can't really consider to be a great team performance. And there will be a lot of players who on this scoreboard, as we all go through this, score a lot less than the 6.5. So on to the first of the centre-backs, Joe Gomez, who didn't follow up a great performance against Manchester City with one of a similar nature today, and was definitely at fault for the goal, dallying on the ball for too long. He was dispossessed, and obviously the goal comes from that. So we'll get your scores in now, guys, for for Joe Gomez, who I'm going to give a 4 out of 10. That's my score for Joe. I thought he had a difficult day today. We talk about Joe on the channel quite a bit, where he needs 5, 6, 7, 8 games to get himself going and build up to some type of form. We also talk on the channel that when he makes mistakes, he can get on top of himself, and those mistakes come thick and fast, and I didn't think he had a great performance today. So I'm just waiting for you guys to join me on the Joe Gomez votes, and also join in on the Man of the Match vote. And don't forget to go to redmenplus.com and join in as a subscriber, where you can join us on our shows like The Final Word, where we'll analyse this and have a cathartic approach to, you know, understanding the difficulties we're going through at the moment. So Gomez, Caspert's gone for 4. James Adams has gone for 5.5. Gomez has gone for 4. Amin Ayar has gone for 4 for Gomez. Cozzy's gone as low as a 2. Joe Gomez has got a 4 from Simon, a 4 from B2B Football, a 4 from Christopher Campbell. Yeah, I think 4 out of 10 is probably fair for Joe. Definitely not one of his better games, and certainly one or two of us will be looking at when some of the centre-backs are available to play on and come back into the side. Joe did not have a great game today. So on to Virgil van Dijk. For me, Virgil had not a great game, not a poor game. I'm going to give Virgil a 6 out of 10. And I want your guys to tell me what you think about Virgil van Dijk today. I thought he was commanding in the box. He had some opportunities from an attacking point of view where he headed the ball square, trying to pick out Bobby Firmino as opposed to going for goal. And then obviously the header right at the end that Dean Henderson pulls off, and absolutely world-class save to keep that one out. So I just want you guys to join in and tell me your thoughts on Virgil van Dijk. I don't think it helped today because I think we struggled a little bit in the midfield. When Curtis Jones was receiving the ball, he was very much facing the same way, facing back towards his goal, playing the ball back to Alisson. I thought towards Alisson and Van Dijk and players like that, I didn't think it was particularly great. So get your votes in for Virgil van Dijk, please, guys. Let's have a look at the iPad saying Virgil van Dijk gets a 3 from somebody. Not sure he's as bad as a 3. Someone else has given Gomez a 2, but we now want to see our votes for Virgil van Dijk, guys, please, if we can just move on to him. So whilst I wait for your votes on Virgil van Dijk, I'll talk a little bit about Andy Robertson. I thought Andy had a quiet game today. Didn't think he was particularly involved in play. Although that said, we built most of our play down the right-hand side. So not really an opportunity for him to get involved. A new central midfield in front of him and a new left winger in front of him. So the link-up play with Carvalho and with Jones wasn't as fluid as it is with Thiago, a Diaz or a Jota, purely because they're not used to playing together. So I thought Robertson had an average game, not a great game, an average game. Cyan Roy has gone for Ali 8, Millie 7, Elliott 7, the rest 6.5. Gomez and Van Dijk get a 5. I think 5 is a bit harsh on Van Dijk because he did offer a threat in the opponent's box. So I'm going to give Andy Robertson his score now, and I'm going to give Andy Robertson a straight 5. Guys, I don't think Andy Robertson got involved in the game particularly well. Join me on the chat. Tell me what you think about Andy Robertson and give me your votes. So it's a 5 for Robbo for me. Could have done a lot more going forward. Didn't see him on the overlap. Didn't see him putting too many balls into the box. I thought Andy Robertson had a pretty average game in terms for Andy today. Would have been disappointed with that. I think everybody would be disappointed with the performance in general. So on to Fabinho, who I'm going to give the same score that I gave to Joe Gomez, because I thought at times today Fabinho was poor. Very slow to react to chances that were created against us. Found it difficult playing alongside Curtis Jones in midfield. I think struggled with covering him and ensuring that he could impact the game. Going forward, he didn't offer much at all. The way that Nottingham Forest set up with 2 lines of 4, he had a lot of the ball in front of them and couldn't really do anything with it. So I've gone with a 4 for Fabinho. So join me in the chat. You still got guys have got to catch up a little bit. Talk to me a little bit about Andy Robbo and talk to me about Fabinho, please. And on to the new part of the double pivot, the left-hand side of that, Curtis Jones. What did we make of Curtis Jones, guys? I thought Curtis Jones showed up for the ball well early on, was really, really brave. He always is, always wants the ball, works well under instruction. But for me, often found himself receiving the ball under heavy pressure from Nottingham Forest midfielders, facing back towards his own goal, and his only option was to play the ball back to one of the centre-backs and try and break free of his shackles and move again. I think second half, when we made the changes and he moved up onto the left-hand side of midfield, when we brought Carvalho off, I thought he was better. He showed good strength. He's got some skill so he could retain the ball. But it wasn't a great performance from him either in that regard. So I'm gonna score him slightly higher than Fabinho. I'm going to give him a 5, purely because he was brave, purely because he showed up for the ball, and in a team of players who didn't really make a great showing of themselves, he didn't hide. When you lose games against Nottingham Forest in that manner, some of your teammates go missing and they hide. So I'm going to give Curtis Jones a 5. So on to Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott again for me, guys, was a bright spark, hence the reason he's in the man of the match vote. Really progressive with the ball, showed up on the half turn all of the time. Everything good we did in the first half, and all of our good football for me happened in the first half, came through Harvey Elliott. Able to beat a man, showed that when he cut inside, went past 2 men and played in Carvalho, who brought the ball down and was only foiled by a great save by Dean Henderson. So once again, we have a 19-year-old in our midfield for me who is pulling all of the strings and looks like the player that wants to get the ball down, turn it round, face up the opposition, create some opportunities and ask some questions. So I'm going to be giving Harvey Elliott a 7 as well. So guys, join me on the chat. Tell me what you think. 7 for Harvey Elliott. Another inspiring performance, another good performance today in a difficult situation, which will do his development the world of good. Moving on to Fabio Carvalho, who I think was not as effective as Harvey Elliott, so I would give Fabio Carvalho a 5.5. As we said before, unlucky with bringing the ball down and it being saved by Dean Henderson. His link play was okay. Difficult for him to play out wide on the left with an unusual partnership of Fabinho and Jones behind him, with Robertson playing it safe because we weren't defensively so strong down that side. So a difficult day for him. I think his substitution was justified. I think by that time during the game he'd gone off the boil and wasn't really having an impact on the game. So I'm going to go with a 5.5 for Carvalho. There will be better days for him, 100%. He's still learning about playing in this side. He's still finding his feet in the first 11. But some nice touches, and was a bit unlucky really early on with the shot that Henderson saved. Just going back to some of the scores on here, just a quick look. Fabinho seems to be copying a lot of flack. There's lots of 3s for Fabinho at the moment, and there's a 4 for Fab as well. But we've moved on a little bit now, guys, so we'll go into the front 2, and Bobby Firmino will be next up to speak about. I thought Bobby Firmino had a quiet day today. Link play was okay. Didn't think he was dynamic. Didn't look like adding to his goal ratio or his assist ratio. I thought Liverpool found it quite difficult to break down the 2 defensive lines of Nottingham Forest, who, to their credit, got their defensive game plan done and dusted to a T. They deserve all the credit for that game, and they kept him out, they kept him quiet. They were deep, they were resolute, they were strong. They didn't give Bobby a lot of space to play in, and he often came really deep looking for the ball to try and nip play. The issue with that is that then you just leave Mo Salah in the middle, and he's surrounded by big centre-halves who basically wanted the ball fired into him so they could win it, overpower him physically and win it. We didn't get their back line out, and we didn't get any runners in behind them, and I thought it was quite a difficult day for Bobby at the moment. Today was a tough day for Bobby. So moving on to Mo Salah, who for me didn't play as well as Bobby. I thought Mo was largely anonymous today, playing through the centre, which we thought prior to the game, Chris and I spoke about, would be a real strength of ours, where we could utilise his pace and his directness and the feeling he had after scoring a hat-trick against Rangers and then scoring again against Manchester City, the winning goal as well, which will do your confidence the world of good. Just wasn't a day for Mo today. Couple of loose touches. I don't recall him having a shot. I think we had a look at the stats at the start of the second half. He'd had 19 touches within about an hour, so it tells you he couldn't get into the game. And then there was the cross that came over and he miskicked the ball completely, and Carvalho put the ball over the bar. So I'm going to go with a 4.5 for Mo Salah today. Disappointing by all accounts from Mo. Mo's a much better player than that. So on to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who came on as a late substitute. Really didn't have a chance to impact the game. Saw a little bit of the ball, played a cross far too close to the goalkeeper, started through the centre and came out to the right. I don't think Ox had an impact on the game, and that could be for a number of reasons. Forest had grown in confidence, Forest were keeping Liverpool out, and Liverpool were a little bit round-shouldered and a little bit lacking in ideas and invention, so I think that Ox really struggled in terms of getting involved in the game today. So I'm going to give him a 5 because he didn't have long enough to impact the game. Henderson came on. Henderson, for me today, when he came on, played much in the way that we would expect him to. He tried to organise things, he tried to communicate, he tried to boss things. It didn't really happen. I don't think Henderson made too much of an impact on the game. I'm not going to give him as low a score as Fabinho because he wasn't on the pitch for that long, and when he came on, he did try and look forward and try and create some opportunities. So I'm going to give Henderson a 5 as well, guys. And then the last one would be Trent Alexander-Arnold, who obviously missed out for James Milner. James Milner starting the game at right back. We were talking for those of you that joined us for the watch along, we were talking about getting Trent on for some creativity. He came on, he was quite inverted coming into the centre. And as you recall, he had a header that was beaten away by the goalkeeper. And also worked quite hard running backwards with a chance where they broke. It was clear to see he was trying a lot harder today to recover that ground than in recent weeks. So without being spectacularly great, without being defensively weak, as you know, a lot of the critics are looking at, I'm going to give Trent a 6 out of 10 today, because I thought of the 3 substitutes that came on, he was actually the pick of the bunch. So quickly go through them before we go to the man of the match. I'm going to give Alisson gets a 7, some great saves, also tried to recover us by going up in the box, trying to score a West Brom style header. Milner with a 6.5. Gomez had a day to forget, obviously at fault for the goal, with a 4. Van Dijk gets a 6, largely because of his presence in the opponent's box, because defensively we were not great today. Andy Robertson gets a 5. Into the midfield, where Fabinho has had another lacklustre game today and struggled for long periods in there. He gets a 4. The new left-sided centre midfielder, never played there before in a double pivot, and we shouldn't forget that. Jones gets a 5, largely because he showed for the ball and I thought he was brave. Carvalho had a 5.5 performance, never really, after his early chance, which Henderson saved, never really got into the game, never really had an opportunity to impress himself. Harvey Elliott gets a 7, that looks like a 1, but we'll make it a 7 just for purposes. And Bobby Firmino gets a 5 again, struggles to get into the game. And finally, Mo Salah gets a 4.5 in the starting 11. Really not Mo's day today, we didn't see much of him. And just to quickly summarise the substitutes once more, Trent with a 6, did offer something going forward, was unlucky with a header. Defensively worked a bit harder than we've seen recently. Jordan Henderson gets a 5 and Oxlade-Chamberlain gets a 5. They really didn't impact the game when they came on. So to the man of the match vote. And that's been given to Alisson. So man of the match, MOTM, unsurprisingly, goes to Alisson Becker. Again, guys, Chris and I both said during the commentary, for those of you that joined us, he deserves a bit better than what he's getting at the moment. He's saving us week in, week out with world-class saves. For me, the best goalkeeper in the world, proved his worth today. So finally, before I go, don't forget to come on over to redmenplus.com and join us. Subscribe as a club legend. You can join in on all of our shows, our most importantly the Final Word show, where we attempt to dissect what's gone on today when we've all slept on it. Very cathartic look at what's going on at Liverpool Football Club at the moment, because if you feel like I do, it's nice to talk to some like-minded Liverpool players and get some support. I've been Steve Plunkett. Thank you for joining me on the Player Rating Show. Hopefully next time, whoever does this, we'll see the numbers go north a bit.
Hey, what's happening, everyone? Hope you enjoyed that show. If you did, please do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel as well. If you want even more Liverpool content, even in video or podcast form, do check out Redmen Plus, our subscription service. Tons and tons of great Liverpool content, both in video and podcast forms. Check it out. You will love it.